Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to part two of our parenting conversation about how parenting changes your life, how parenting changes the way you look at life. Hi, Agnes, how are you doing?
Hi, Ryan. Happy St. Patty's Day again.
Part two, yeah, St.
Part
Patty's Day.
two.
Yeah. And see, now you wore green. Is that what you did? She's like Diana Ross, people. Just like 20 changes per show. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Oh, what's my favorite song? What's my favorite Diana Ross song? Oh, oh, it's not. It's not. It's not something I'm going to be singing on here. We'll keep it
No?
moving.
Oh,
No,
come
no,
on. Come on,
no,
Ryan.
no. Let's keep it going. Sometimes she's so high pitched, it's kind of weird. But we're going to talk about parenting. She's a parent too. Like I think she has one daughter who's also an actress. It's
And
such
she
an
got a
interesting
son.
thing. Yeah, sometimes I've heard things about the two, from her daughter Tracy Ross, I think she is, and
Mhm.
it's like how they. I don't even know who her father is, but it's like they have a different relationship than I've heard with most people, and that's like an interesting thing too, like the kind of relationship that you have as an adult with your parent. But we're gonna go all into that because that's the other thing. Maybe we didn't look at it from the other side. Yes, we're parents and looking at our children, but we've also been children dealing with our parents. Yes, let's go into it. Hey, so ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Love, Death, and Taxes. I'm Ryan O'Neill Williams, your host, and it. Oh no, over here is Agnes Emisano from Tax Resolutions and Bookkeeping. Agnes, um, what relationship did you have with your mom? Did you ever think to yourself, "Oh, she's doing a horrible job"? as I think every child does that.
I had very complicated relationship with my mom.
Hmm.
Very complicated.
Hmm.
I left when I was 20 years
Hmm.
old,
Yes.
and it I think will tell you a lot about my relationship with my mother when I tell you I didn't went back for 17 years.
Wow.
So when I became a mother, I wanted to make sure that my son will have much better relationship with me than I had with my mom. Over the years, when I become a parent, I started rethinking about the relationship with my mother, and I realized that I didn't give her enough credit when I was younger.
Mm,
That I didn't try to understand her.
mm.
You know, So a lot of things changed when I became a mother, and I give my mother credit and thanks for raising me.
For raising.
Um, yes. So there was a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of emotions. Um, like I said, it was very complicated relationship. But when my mom came to visit me, that was 15 years ago, actually, she did tell me she was proud of me. So I was waited 40 years of my life for her to say that. But
So,
we ended, she passed a few months afterwards, but we ended on a good and loving note. We had good relationship. Throughout the years throughout the years since I left, like I said, when I became a mother, I started thinking about her and her parenting, and we had good friendship. There was not a week that I would not call her every Saturday and Sunday, and we chat, and there was like something happened. Oh, I have to tell my mom. So things changed, and when she passed, it took me 2 years to stop reaching out for that phone and trying to call her. you know
wow.
so like I said, when we are growing, when we are becoming parents ourselves, no matter how much we're trying to blame our parents, oh, they were bad, or they didn't do the right thing, or they didn't know what they're talking about. We're finding ourselves in that position that we don't know what to do, that we are wiggling out in certain situation, that we don't know um, what to say,
Yeah,
or do the right thing, because we're dealing with our emotions.
yeah,
So it's a lot. So I'm hoping that a lot of kids will grow up just like us, and um, will give credit to their parents, and they understand that being a parent is I think this is the most difficult job in this world, because you never know what to do, and if your words will hit the wall or they will come into their hearts. So you just never know.
yeah. It's tough as a father who really didn't have my father around. I think in my first maybe 4 years, he was closer and or around, but then after that, that didn't really exist. So I have to give a lot of credit to my mother because she was always there. And sometimes, yes, it was a little overbearing. Yes, sometimes I felt like she went over the thing, but she always instilled a certain amount of civic pride, a certain amount of, hey, this is right and this is wrong. And there should always be ambition to move forward. Um, Education was key. My mother was a teacher, so education is like fantastic. You should pay attention. She had flaws. Of course, she had flaws. Sometimes the very I'd like to say the very enlightened way that I can now think. Um, she afforded me the ability to do that. Um, uh, the fact that I can meditate, the fact that I can accept many more things in the way people live. That I'm not sure she always accepted those people, but she impressed upon me that I should, right? So it's an interesting thing where she was always saying, "You should be better than me. You should be better than me and move forward." So that was something that you kind of strove towards um, for a long time. Man, some of my siblings are probably going to see this. For a long time, I look exactly like my father. Like it's this, I mean, it's ridiculous that people have passed me in the street in Jamaica and said, Roy, because
Yeah.
they didn't look like. And I was told for a long time that I was probably going to be like him because I was like. And so I didn't even understand
Hmm.
for a long time that I was struggling against that. And why would you even be struggling against it? What's the deal there? And because he was never around. I was like, I don't want to do that for my children. I want to be around them the whole time, the entire time. I want them to be able to come to me for whatever problem, because we didn't really have that kind of relationship. And it was later on that I started to dig into myself because I wanted to find a different way to live. And that I it's such an interesting thing. Like you set yourself on a journey because you want to be sometimes better than one of the
Yes.
parents that you have, right? And then that's exactly what I did. There's a book called and Aunt Pam. If you ever watch this, thank you. I mean, it was just sitting on your shelf, and there was nothing else for me to do the summer of 1993, and I just read it. But it was called The Road Less Traveled by Dr. Scott Peck, MD. That is the first self help book that I ever read. And it starts by saying, life is difficult. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I was told it's supposed to be easy and this is supposed to be that, and blah, blah, blah. And it basically wraps it up that it was the first book that ever explained to me that you do not have to be like on a fate. You're not forced to be who your father was or who your mother was. You could be somebody different. And so this conversation which I don't have very often with people who are outside of my scope, um, is is fascinating to me because I think that it's really important that you try to be better. And that's what my mother wanted for me, I think. And I think every parent wants that for their child, that they be better than them in every
Yes.
way.
See, I had this self awakening at certain point when I
Mhm.
became a parent that yes, my grandmother was raised in a different era in very difficult situations. She had her children during the war.
Mhm.
So my mother was the only one from nine siblings who actually um, finished above elementary school, and she became a secretary. Um, I went to nursing school back in Poland. I I went to college here, so there was like I think that's the way it's supposed to be, that every generation is supposed to be better. Every generation is supposed to bring something, um, some beauty into their lives that there was not there before. I was raised without the father. I didn't know my dad, and unfortunately, I was a single mom. Um, but life happens. What I am the most appreciative to my mother is she taught me living skills that I became much, much stronger woman because of her. I was never lost on my own, never. And as a parent, I decided to teach my son because I thought that what is the most important wasn't exactly what I was taught at school. It was how to live, how to handle life, how to handle stress, how to handle family. And even as a parent, as a woman, which mother doesn't want the best things for her daughter? Be a princess, you're a princess to me. Well, no one can guarantee that the man she's going to meet is going to give her everything.
No.
And sometimes you have to step back and watch your child building something. It's going to fall apart and then getting up and building up again, and it's going to fall apart. And that parent needs to learn, again, my personal opinion, um, step back and give the child room to be that phoenix,
Yeah. Yeah.
burn down and then rise again. Be there to encourage instead sticking to words. "No, do this, do this, do this," because sometimes those parents will ruin the lives of the child. A lot of times, we all met couples like that. The parents were interfering too much, and I guess the two people that they get married didn't have bones strong enough to sit down and talk and understand that this is between us, not between us and our parents. So there is, when it comes to parenting, when do you know when to step back?
Yeah. When do
When?
you say it's so bad I need to say something, or allow people to make their mistakes?
Yes.
It's tough. It's tough. And
But but I think it's part of teaching them how to live,
yes.
how to be. I mean, if I would have a daughter and someone would have raised their hand against her, I think that man will be walking with prosthetics right now because I would chop those hands off. Uh, you know, um,
You're not gonna make me say something that's gonna put me in jail.
no,
Sorry.
no, 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 no. See, I don't have a daughter, so I can say that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
you can be silent. You can be
yeah.
silent.
They're like, oh, on March 17th, 2023, You
He
said
said,
that you were going to beat the crap out of some dude because you touched your daughter, and you said it. We have it on tape, and now the guy who touched your daughter is dead. I have nothing to do with it. I was right there, officer. But yeah,
it wasn't me. She said it.
it wasn't me. I turned to Shaggy right away.
Yeah,
It
it
wasn't
wasn't
me.
me. No, it wasn't me. No.
No.
So it's very difficult. It's the discretion, the
Yeah.
discretion, how to deal with that,
Mhm.
how to deal with situations there. But I have another question for you.
Ooh, questions.
Yes. In your opinion,
Mhm.
until what age children should stay live at home with their parents?
I gotta say, there's a very interesting word that we keep using as parents here. We're using the word child or children. And what's interesting in my mind, when I think of a child or children, I think of someone who is small. I don't think of young adults. But the truth is, forever, for the rest of their lives, they're going to be your child. I don't care if they're 70 years old and you're 90, they're going to be your
I
child. That's
I
number
am
one.
so lucky that my son made peace with that because he will always be my
You'll always be my child. However, I want you out my house by the time you're 25.
pretty much.
Get out. Get the heck out. I am sure I taught you enough skills. You went to either college or community
Um,
college. Yeah, it's time to go.
yeah.
I'm
You're
sorry.
laughing, but that's what
I'm sorry.
happened.
And a bunch of millennials are getting butt hurt right now because they're all saying, I'm 35 and I still live with my parents. And also, but I'm sorry, I'm sorry, dude. And part of it is they always say, you guys ruin the world and we can't afford to buy a house or whatever. Well, get a roommate, bro. Figure it out. I'm sorry. Get six of you dudes together and you all rent like a little apartment
No,
together.
but let's say your kids, your young adults' kids, they're living with you.
Right.
Till what age do you think they should stay with you?
Oh, what did I
You didn't
stutter?
tell me the age.
Did I stutter when I said 25? No.
25? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I missed that. In the laughing, I missed that.
That's 25. That's about it.
I'm
That's,
with you. I'm
that's
with
it.
you on that.
And you at 25, you're a late bloomer. You need to.
I
When did I leave?
truly
I'm
believe.
trying to figure out when I left. I might have been hmm 21, maybe 22.
Mhm.
I don't remember, but it was time to go. It's like I gotta get the heck out of here. Oh, my brother was 17 at the time, so I might have been 22, 20, maybe closing in on 23. And so I was like, yeah, I gotta get out of here. I can't do this.
I didn't want my son to be in a situations like when I was dating and with my girlfriends, and whenever we find out that a boy or young man, it's he's 30 or 35 and living with his parents. I was like, okay, bye. That's a red flag. He had no living skills.
I mean, if you think about it, there are probably a lot of cultures, maybe even like within certain families, where that is just what they do, and they do it to save money or they do it to structure whatever they want to do. I mean, for a long time, women lived at home until they were married. So if your daughter number seven and you're 25, 26, and daughter number one still hasn't gotten married at 29, 30, or whatever it is, you you,
That's a problem.
you gotta wait.
That's a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. So depending on the world and where you live or your family culture, you could end up being not going anywhere for quite some time. But yeah, you want to try to get
It's
out.
important that young people will go to the real world and learn how to stretch the dollar, how to live, how to make right decisions. Because
Yeah,
when mommy and daddy are there to support your lifestyle
yeah,
and keep giving, giving, giving,
yeah.
how you going to learn how to fend for
How do
yourself?
you, yeah, it's like you've got a perennial safety net, and as a result, you're never going to fail because
Yeah.
nobody wants to fail. And failure is good, guys. But failure is good. Kids, are you listening? Failure is good for you
You
because then
need,
when you fail, it makes you want to win. And by when you do that, then you win some more, you win some more. You learn from your failure. You
you're
do.
not going to know how the success tastes without the failure.
Oh my gosh, it is the delicious contrast of the
Yeah.
world to have failure over here, but to win and be triumphant over here. It is the most amazing thing when you actually are winning. I love that. I love that. But I got to tell you, I was winning for a long time in my life. I didn't have a lot of failure. And so when I did fail a few times, there are a few things. It's like,
It's part of life.
yeah,
It's part of life.
it made me real. It was reeling. So it's good to fail and fail early. It's good to take chances and take them early. So yeah, like you were saying, you want to step in and help people. Nah, sometimes you got to let them fail so that they can feel the depth of that failure and then reflect on all the mistakes that they have made and therefore not make them again. Right? I
Yes.
would hope so.
Yes.
I'd hope that's what you want to have your child learn. You want them to learn. You don't want to protect them the whole time like a little one egg, like your girlfriend from the previous episode. Guys, if you're not paying attention, this is episode number 2 of what changes when he becomes a parent. This is, we call it parenting part 2 right here. But what we're talking about is how becoming a parent changes you. And then we started off with how us relating to our own parents, but then now we're talking about how long you think your kids should be sucking off the teat of your whether they should get out of your house. I can you know you want to, as a parent or as a husband or wife, like really start to enjoy your life after your kids like hit 20 and you know that they can, kind of get out and do their own thing on their own. You know that they've understood. We spend a lot of time as humans, 20 years plus, like just training them to go out into the world and do whatever it is that they
Yes.
do. Right? Many other animals or creatures just don't have to spend that kind of time. Some of them eat their kids.
Yes, I was about to say that. Oh, you didn't listen to me?
Chianti.
I brought you to this world. I'm going to take you out.
That's right. That's it. That's the
That's
conversation.
literally that's what they do.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
but I think I know how at this point in my life how much I'm enjoying watching my son and his wife. Like she's my daughter-in-law is a born mother. She was born to be a mother. She's amazing, and I'm sure she learned that from her mom as well. And the kids just simply adore her. And when I'm watching the whole family, how they're interacting, I literally I enjoy. I love watching them just to sit back and watch them, and I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
I cannot take any credit for it, but I enjoy watching them. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of every single step my son did as a grown man about the decisions he's making. I simply just last time I saw him, I complimented him. It's like, you know what? Your vocabulary is just so rich. I love hearing you talk.
You did
Looking at
something right. You
my
did something right. And by the way, you're saying you don't think you have that much to do with it. I'm going to just disagree with you here. He made a decision based on what he thought was the thing that he wanted, like the type of person that he wanted, and he could have chosen several other less good choices. There are millions of them out here, promise you. But he chose her, and someone who that you actually admire and seem to think is really good at
Yes,
being both a wife and a mother. So yeah, yeah, you feel like but in a way you might
a
actually
little bit,
contribute it
a
to
little
a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. It's okay. It's okay. But tons of brownie points when they eventually watch this. I know they're gonna be liking it all on YouTube. Please like, subscribe here on YouTube. Please do
bit. No, but
that.
it's being a parent. It's like never ending job, and it's a beautiful life sentence, as I always say.
Like
And
that.
you
Yeah,
cannot say from now on, you
yeah,
always will. I'm not going to be a parent no matter what age they are. You're going to sit and worry, although you will sit and worry with your mouth shut, which I think you should, you know because a lot of times getting involved in our growing children's life is really not advisable,
no,
I would say. uh, but I know that when I'm needed, they know where to find me. I have that relationship that if I'm needed, they know where to find me, either for advice or for any kind of reason that I'm here. So that kind of friendship now, that friendship really is needed, and there's no blurred lines like when they are teenagers. That will be, if you want to be their friend, they're going to take advantage of it, and as a position of a parent's going to go out the window, and you're going to be pushed around.
you gotta be
So
careful.
you have to be more, forget that friendship. Be good there, but forget that friendship. But when they're grown, they understand life. That friendship, that's when should kicked in, and I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So you still have ways to go to get there.
Oh my God. This second set, oh my gosh, something else. You know what I was thinking the other day? Maybe I could start another set of kids. And they were like,
Oh,
they were,
really? Good
they
luck.
said to me, they said to
Don't
me,
go for
what?
babysitting.
Yeah, they're like, what, Dad? No. Hey, you asked me, but I don't think I heard you say what age people should get out of your house. What did you say? So
25,
you're more
absolutely. 25.
That's a good
Yeah,
day. Okay. Okay. So
yeah,
we're in sync on that. Okay.
yeah.
Get out of here. I mean, you're on the on the cusp of becoming like a family yourself, and damn it, I do not want you to bring your dates back into my house and be doing things that I get out of here with that. Do that somewhere else. I don't want to even think about you as my kid doing the thing. I don't know, and vice versa, right? They don't want to think about the fact that the way that they came into the world was.
Oh, no, 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 no. They were found in a cabbage.
That's right.
They were found in a cabbage. Yes.
Stork came in and dropped you off.
There's no such things as parents engaging in any activities. No, 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 no. And we do not want to, um, you know,
It's
hear
not
that
something
from
you want to
our
put in their minds. Okay.
funny
Yeah,
thing.
that's one
One
of
of
the
my
things too. That changes during parenting. Like once, especially when they're little, it's not something you want to do a lot around them. As a couple, like that's like a weird thing that they should not be able to see. Oh my gosh. Am I going to talk about this? One of my kids did walk in on us once when we were having having an afternoon delight, and that's the kind of thing that you do not necessarily want your kid to see. And if you think about it, this is one of the reasons why you reduce the amount of um, intimacy, physical intimacy that you have as a parent, because you don't want them to hear or see or even know that that's what you're doing. They'll come in the moonlight.
No, but there's a big but. They should be raised observing the
Oh,
loving
of
relationship
course,
that
you're loving right.
parents
That's
have.
fine. But
Affectionate, affectionate.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
by extension, they immediately look at that and they're like, okay, so you guys have been doing it. You don't want them to think about that. And so that makes it difficult too. Like you want to be a husband and a wife, but at the same time, you have to be a parent. And I feel sometimes that makes it a little bit difficult. You know, what do you put first, right? I've heard a lot of people say, "What do you put first? And you put your your marriage first, or are you going to put your relationship with the kids first?" As a father, what do you think? What do you think? Just off the top of your head, because I have
Listen,
my own answer.
I have I know exactly, but I want to ask you
Oh no, you
something.
can't.
No, no, no. Listen to this.
We'll
Listen to
say it
this.
together.
This
One, two, three.
friend of mine told me, asked me that once. Um, there is a husband and wife on a boat, and the
Mhm.
boat is sinking.
Yes,
Um, they can. I'm sorry. There's a husband and a wife and a child on a
yes,
boat, and the boat is sinking, and only two people can be saved.
yeah.
Who will be saved?
Oh
Who
my.
you should save?
Oh, this is a horrible, horrible question. But yeah, you save your the husband and wife because I guess you could have another child. Is that the horrible, horrible? This is definitely a Polish thing, isn't it?
No,
No, it sounds very like
that's
pragmatic.
actually that's the answer that the priest give.
Yeah.
That a husband and wife and a child has to go in that situation.
Ooh, ooh,
Which most likely, when there's a fire, you first take the child and take the dog and then the
yeah.
hamster, and then you go for the husband.
Yeah. Nobody wants to hear that though. Nobody wants to hear that you should
No,
sacrifice your children for your marriage. But the truth is, when you've made that kind of, I don't think it matters whether it came from a priest or whoever. The bond that should be between a wife and a husband um, supersedes everything, and they basically should be okay. We're together, and we need to show that to the kids too, so that they actually um, they understand that we are together. You can't separate us or divide us with whatever little
and I'm
trick.
gonna tell you what I always tell the couples that I counsel.
No, okay.
You cannot sacrifice your marriage for children. You cannot fight about children. You cannot choose sides because those kids you're not raising for yourself. They will leave your nest
Mm.
and you're going to stay alone and grow old together.
Yes, right. That's right.
Life continues after children will leave home. So preserve the love, preserve the friendship, preserve yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a beautiful way to end this. Is that great? Wasn't that great? Like talking about parenting, but yeah, you want to be parents, but you also want to be lovers at the end of this whole long journey. And yes, you might have an empty nest at the end, but at the end of life, it will be great to have that one person who understands you through the last how many years, and is the most intimate person with you ever. Right?
Yes.
That's kind of beautiful. I really do like that. Right? The romantic in me is like, yes. The pragmatic in me is like, yes, get out of the house, kids. At 25, don't come back here anyway. But yes, I completely get it because you want them to grow and you want to see them around you, but at the same time, you do want to go back to that initial relationship that created them in the first place. Yes.
You have to preserve that love. You have to preserve the life because your life as a husband and wife does not end with the moment your children will start their own lives.
No, no, just not.
There's years and decades of life together where you need to be friends. You need to someone has to look out for you and your spouse is the person because this is part of the team.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. So, ladies and gentlemen, that has been our part two of how does parenting change you right here on Love, Death, and Taxes. If you have a topic that you'd like to discuss or you'd like to actually send us some information, some comments about this particular one, send it to mailbag at lovedeathandtaxes.com. We are here. We're waiting to hear from you. That would be great. And Agnes, you have anything you'd like to leave with them? Any final words or say goodbye in this St. Patty's night?
Pertaining to our episodes, don't be afraid of being a parent. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's the most beautiful job in the world. It's challenging, definitely, but it's also very rewarding.
Yeah. All right. So, ladies and gents, I'll see you soon. I'll see you next week. I guess we'll be
Yes.
here. I'm enjoying these. I'm enjoying with it. We're going doing these deep dives, like going into these things that we actually have great experience, a long time experience on, but also I feel as though I'd love to hear more from people. I see someone put up like a care symbol up here, and that's great. Oh, Shanna. So hey, I know Shanna. Hi,
Hi,
Shanna.
Sheila.
That's kind of cool. Very, very cool. All right. So, ladies and cheese, I'll talk to you next week. Again, thank you so very much, Agnes, for hanging out with us and hanging out with me. All right, guys,
It
take
was
care.
great seeing you.
Yeah, of course. It always is. Always is. What a wonderful, wonderful time. All right. All right. Take care, guys.